And the New York Jets search for a head coach and general manager continues to roll on. When will we get some answers on the future leadership of this organization? Well, we're going to talk about the next steps and all of that. Talk about, it seems every week I got to revise who I want to see become the head coach of the team. We're going to talk about that. Also, a little bit about what we learned from Wild Card Weekend, plus trivia, plus 3-and-out, plus we just might spin the big wheel. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what's up. It's Wednesday night, it's 6 p.m., and we are live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watson-K99. Thank you as always for joining me for another Wednesday night extravaganza. We are here on the New York Sports WickerMedia channel. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. Appreciate everybody's support. All right, so we're going to get into some more New York Jets talk, of course, as the offseason continues to roll on, as it does for most teams in the league, but the GM and coaching search is still what everybody seems to be talking about, and then we'll start talking about some players. I've actually already done I've already given some of my thoughts. I actually did a video this week of the 20 free agents that the New York Jets have. They got 20 pending free agents, and I ranked them from 20 to 1, from who I want to bring back the least to who I want to bring back the most. So I've already got that out there on the channel. Check it out if you haven't already. Let's say a couple quick hellos. I see the great Tony Alexio is here, and Chris Dreveler's number one fan. Unleash Green Bean Mania and his Dakota package. There's some inside stuff there I'm not aware of. All right. Hey, Harlan, good to see you here. Harlan Abraham is here. Hopefully he doesn't have to go out to pick up his drugs again. His meds, excuse me. Got to make it sound right. Hope he's doing well. Danger Zone, how you doing, man? Salute. Hey, if we do the wheel, hey, maybe you'll stick with Aaron Glenn for the entire time. You never know. Yeah, no beer tonight. Just early swig of water for the working man and woman. There we go. Tastes good. All right, guys. So we're going to get into the football in a moment. But first of all, let's talk about what's on my mind in a bit of what we like to call 3-and-out. First thing that is kind of on my mind that's bugging me is the New York Knicks. Lost 5 of their last 7 games, a despicable loss at home to Detroit on Monday. I don't care that it was a back-to-back situation. I don't care that Detroit's been getting hotter as of late. The inconsistency that the Knicks have been showing over the last 2 weeks is really starting to worry me. And you could tell that it's bothering Knicks fans because when, things are going well, you don't see a whole lot of posts on social media. Things are going wrong, and it's pretty much the end of the world. But depth is needed. This team still does not go to its bench, and I still think Tom Thibodeau doesn't do that because he doesn't trust it. I said last week, I want TJ Warren promoted from the Westchester G League team. Mitchell Robinson still a few weeks away from returning to the lineup and giving them some extra depth down low. Now, the Knicks got Philly tonight at 7:30. We'll see how that goes. Now, a lot of people thought that Philly was benching a lot of their best players, Paul George, Caleb Martin, Tyrese Maxey, last night for the game against Oklahoma City, figuring, okay, it's a load management game. They'll bench him for OKC, and they'll give him that extra day of rest and unleash him on the Knicks. Well, as of now, pretty much all those players are questionable at best, so we'll see who winds up getting into the lineup. Philly actually getting a new arena, the Sixers and the Flyers. It's been approved and should be built for 2031. So So I guess that's pretty cool. As far as hockey goes, that was a yucky night for the New York metropolitan area. The Rangers were in Colorado to take on a very good Avalanche team. I'm amazed that they got a point. Okay, I know they blew a lead with under a minute and a half to go and then lost in overtime. But 5 minutes into this game, they're giving up a goal. Okay, after getting completely outplayed for most of that first period too. And once again, the fourth line is the only line that can score a goal. Sam Carrick, Adam Edstrom. I mean, it's great when your fourth line can score. It's not okay when your fourth line is the only line that can score on the whole team. This team still frustrates me so much. I said weeks ago, I feel the Rangers are heading into the absolute abyss. I'm not letting like a 4-1-2 start to January fool me. Okay, I need to see a lot more before I believe in this team again. The Devils lose to a very good Panthers team 2-1 in a shootout. Islanders, we said it before the beginning of the year, they did not have the scoring to compete in the Eastern Conference, and they get shut out by Ottawa 2-0. So it is not a very good time to be a fan of the New York hockey teams, even though the Devils are well on their way to clinching a playoff spot. They may be the only team that's doing it. And baseball international free agency started today. The big prize has been Roki Sasaki. As of now, we still don't know where he's signing, but we should in the next few days. Either the Dodgers, where we all know he's probably going to go, the Padres, or the Blue Jays, where, as a Mets fan, I hope he signs. I don't want to see any. Oh my gosh! Can he just go anywhere but the Dodgers, please? It's like MLB goes out of their way to make sure the Dodgers can bend every rule for all this money and all this kind of stuff. It's like, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. But Mets fans don't have to be disappointed because they signed Elian Pena, the 16-year-old Dominican shortstop, signed with the Mets for $5 million. That's basically 80% of the money they had to work with. And he was ranked as the best international free agent behind Sasaki and the best one from all of Latin America. 5-tool impact. His hitting is his calling card. Great bat speed, bats from the left-hand side. Great plate discipline, not too different than Juan Soto, believe it or not. He's got a compact swing. He can spray the ball to all fields, and the power is expected to come on as he gets older. Good shortstop, smooth hands, quick feet, lean frame, and he's probably got years to go before he really maxes out his physical abilities. The player comp that I'm hearing as of right now is Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox. That sounds pretty good. And what I think the only criticism I've really seen, why are the Mets signing another shortstop? We need outfielders. We need pitchers. All right. Let me just explain it. With baseball is a little bit different. You can always move a player around. Okay. Obviously, you're not going to teach a position player to pitch, but shortstops are easier to move to third base and third basemen are to move to shortstops, just as a for instance. And with outfielders, the Mets have plenty. You still have Soto, you have Nimmo, you have plenty of outfielders on the way up, players who can play there, whether it's Drew Gilbert, whether it's Carson Bench, Luis Angel Acuna, Drew Gilbert. There's still plenty of options. So I'm not too worried about that. What you got to do is pick the best talent you can get. And then if there isn't room, hey, then you're trading from a source of strength, if that's what it comes to. But again, most of these baseball players, they don't tend to work out as well. So I guess that's why the draft is like 850 rounds. Okay, so that's pretty much what's going on in the world of baseball. And so let's get the 3 and out of there. And now I think it's time to talk a little bit of New York Jets off season. So everybody, I feel like chanting it right now, so I want to hear it. Everybody, say it proud, say it loud, let it go. Jets, Jets. So we talk about the Jets news. What is going on right now? Well, it's the GM and it's the coach search, but we get to the main topic, and that is that the immortal Anders Carlson, who we had basically written off. I mean, we gave her a little bit of a tribute to Anders Carlson when he was on his way out the door. When it came to Anders Carlson, we really had 2 words for him. He gone! Well, he ain't gone. He back. The Jets have signed him to a reserve contract. Also, tight end Neil Johnson, who nobody outside of his own family has ever heard of. But they've been signed to reserve future contracts along with several other Jets from the prior week. About the only one I'm really excited about keeping is Zach Kuntz. for obvious reasons. You say Zach Kuntz's name 3 times and Johnny Jimenez magically appears. It's pretty remarkable how that goes. No, but seriously, so with the main stuff, we talk about first the GM search. Well, the Jets have now done 15 interviews, and there's only 2 other franchises looking for a GM, those being the Titans and the Raiders. Now, what the Jets have done, let's go through pretty much every candidate, just quickly list them to see who they've interviewed. Now, they've interviewed everybody that they reached out to. So you got Mike Barganzi from Kansas City, somebody that a lot of Jets fans are very high on. Trey Brown, who is in Cincinnati right now, senior personnel member there. Thomas Dimitroff, the former Falcons GM. Brian Gain is the most recent interviewee. He is the assistant GM in Buffalo. Mike Greenberg, the Tampa Bay assistant, Long Island native. Ryan Grigson, the Minnesota vice president of player personnel. He is not eliciting a very positive response from Jet fans. He gets about as positive a reception as Arthur Smith does as a coaching candidate. You know, basically the perception is simple. Ryan Grigson is the one who is the reason that Andrew Luck retired early from the NFL. And he didn't have to be because he could never get that offensive line just right. Also, he traded several draft picks for Trent Richardson, a lazy, overrated running back. So, hey, look on the bright side, though. If he does come here, the running back position and 4/5 of the offensive line are already taken care of. So those are 2 positions that Grigson really would not be able to screw up all that much. Alec Hallaby, the Philadelphia assistant general manager. I've seen a few people who have him in their top 3. Darren Bougie from Denver. Jim Nagy, the Senior Bowl executive. Lance Newmark, who's in Washington, Louis Riddick from ESPN, John Robinson, the former Tennessee general manager, Chris Spielman, the assistant to the Detroit owner, and John Eric Sullivan, vice president of player personnel. So the general managers are going on pretty much with all 3 teams right now. And it's funny. The Jets have done about 6 coaching interviews, and they've done 15 GM interviews. So for the people who are talking about the Jets are doing everything backwards, why are they interviewing the coaches? They need to do the general manager. They are, okay? They've interviewed 2.5 times as many general manager candidates as they have coaching candidates. So that then begs the question, what are Tennessee and Vegas doing right now? Well, the Raiders, they really have not been too much in the news. They let go of Tom Telesco a little bit later. Then the Jets and Titans parted way with their respective GMs. And about the only person we've heard that the Raiders will be interviewing is Sheldon White from the Pittsburgh Steelers. As for the Titans, well, they've been at it, and they've been at it hard. They'd interviewed Reggie McKenzie, the Dolphins senior personnel executive, and they've done a lot of second rounds of interviews. So they have interviewed twice now Mike Berganzi, Ed Dodds, who's the Colts assistant general manager, Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningham, Bills director of player personnel Terrence Gray, John Eric Sullivan, who we mentioned, and Buccaneers assistant GM John Spytek. So and they'd also interviewed Thomas Dimitroff. So the only ones that both teams have interviewed are Thomas Dimitroff, Mike Berganzi, and John Eric Sullivan. So only 3 cross over. I think that's interesting. And Dimitroff has not been interviewed a second time by Tennessee. At this point, we could, I don't want to say safely assume, but it's reasonable to assume that they are not going to go in the Dimitroff direction. All right. The fact that they've interviewed Berganzi and Sullivan, that is very important to note, because as of right now, we don't know who the Jets are going to be bringing back for these second general manager interviews. Now, both Brian Costello and Connor Hughes are saying the general manager should come first. I think the only instance where that would not have happened is if Mike Vrabel would have been hired. And, obviously he's in New England now. If that job had not come open, I think there'd be a good chance Vrabel would be the Jets head coach. But he wanted to be where he wanted to be. He wanted to be with Drake Young, the newly engaged Drake Young. By the way, there is no truth to the rumor that Drake's young fiance is actually older than Bill Belichick's girlfriend. I'm not confirming or denying, just saying. Just saying. They can both have dinner at Chuck E. Cheese if they choose to. All right, so I want to mention, I've been mentioning basically since the beginning, since Joe Douglas was very unceremoniously let go, I didn't really have very strong feelings about who they would hire as general manager. But the more we find out about these people, it's like, I'm not going to be turning cartwheels over anybody. nor am I going to be breaking furniture, tossing chairs through windows if any of these guys get hired. But I do have two people in particular that are standing out to me, and I'm going to mention who they are. I'm going to mention one. First of all, one person I don't have on the list is Mike Bergonzi. It's just the fact that he was in a great organization for so long, but how big is his role really? We don't really know. Now, if he was the one who said we should definitely trade for Patrick Mahomes, we should definitely draft Chris Jones, then you've got my attention. But I don't want to get suckered into a candidate just because he was in a great organization. I don't want to do that. But I'm interested in Mike Greenberg, not the one from the ESPN, who we have the X over, the other one underneath the Jets logo. So he's known for his expertise with the salary cap. And he has served as the Tampa Bay cap expert under Jason Licht. So he is from Long Island, which is good, but then again, so is Jeremy Ruckert. So what exactly does that mean? But he had a great offseason last year. He helped Tampa Bay resign a bunch of key players, including Mike Evans, who a lot of us wanted on the Jets in the worst way, Levante David at linebacker, Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield Jr. at safety, maybe the best safety in the whole game. So he has helped construct the Bucs roster that has won 5 straight AFC South titles, 6 consecutive, 4 NFC South titles, 5 consecutive playoff appearances. Of course, he was part of the 2020 Super Bowl win. He interviewed for the Panthers GM opening last year, obviously did not get the job. And he's been with the Buccaneers for 15 years, and he's had several different roles. He's been vice president of football administration, and I like that. Also director of football administration and coordinator of football administration. Not breaking down the individual titles. The reason why I'm saying that is he seems to have a feel for an overall organizational feel. He's been in this for a long time. He's had a number of different roles. So I think that's encouraging because I think with the Jets, you're not so much looking for a scout. You're looking for somebody who can manage an organization really well. And the fact that he has all these football administration roles, I think Greenberg would be capable of doing that. But he has actually also worked with the Jets in the past. He was an intern, of course, of football administration back in 2008 and 2009 under Mike Tannenbaum, who perhaps not coincidentally is assisting with the Jets head coach and GM search. So it's not as if Greenberg and Tannenbaum are complete strangers to one another. All right. So I think those are a couple of reasons why Mike Greenberg could be a very qualified candidate for the general manager job. And the other one I'm going to mention is Thomas Dimitroff. I think I was just looking for an excuse to post this particular picture between, I don't know what distresses me more, the hair, the expression, or the suit. Oh my gosh. How do I get that much volume on my hair? Oh my gosh. But so Dimitroff was the Falcons general manager from 2008 to 2020, had a record of 113 and 95. The Falcons made the playoffs 6 times during his administration. And before he became a GM, he spent 24 years as a scout with several teams, including Kansas City, Detroit, Cleveland, New England. And with the Falcons, I know, Dave, he really – yeah. Is he from the Russian mob? He looks like Sean Penn. Yeah, he looks a little bit it looks like he's trying to work his way into Drew Carey or something. I don't know. Yeah, with the glasses and the hair and the makeover. Hey, Wild Wade, how you doing, man? There you go. Yeah, he with the suit, I definitely see the Russian mob look. There is no question about it. He looks like the brain in a Bond villain, you know? He looks like the henchman that the actual villain hired, you know? So I can see that. But while he was with the Falcons, Dimitroff drafted 11 Pro Bowlers. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Jake Matthews, Devontae Freeman, Ricardo Allen, Grady Jarrett, Vic Beasley, Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, Justin Hardy, Chris Lindstrom. A lot of those guys were 4th and 5th round picks, and that's encouraging. Like Freeman was a 4th round pick. Grady Jarrett was a 5th round pick, and he became one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So you got quite a few people there who were drafted in later rounds. And it's always encouraging when a general manager can find talent at a later spot. So I do like that. Billy SBC, how you doing? Blue jacket. This is like ZZ Top, sharp dressed man. Blue jacket, red shirt. He's going to come to the Jets and gonna make us hurt. Striped tie, black shades. How much longer till we fade? All right, I'll stop there. Shows proper judgment to be your GM. I mean, the tie kind of, I don't know. I like maroon, but I don't, that shirt does not look like it goes with that tie, does it? I feel like the shirt needs to be like a little bit darker, and the tie needs, yeah, the shirt needs to be a little bit darker. You have like maroon and you have burgundy is kind of what I'm saying. This is what you all come here for, are the fashion tips every week. So maybe we'll make that a regular, watching K99's fashion tips for the week. Not happening. Yeah. So yeah, I'm wearing a hoodie for crying out loud. What do you want from me? So Dimitrov has definitely shown some signs that he could draft great talent. Now, since he was let go in 2020, he has helped create a football analytics company called Sumer Sports. So the company says its aim is to provide the best class quantitative analysis aimed at creating precision in player acquisition and roster management in the NFL. To put that in English, basically he's big into analytics and trying to figure out how to create the best rosters and what players go best with what teams. So kind of like he's being a general manager without being a general manager and trying to improve his game even more. I know, get 8 of your grandmas to subscribe. Thanks, Dane. I appreciate it. We'll get there. We'll get there one day. All I need to do is have like one controversial take to piss enough people off, and we'll get there. Yeah, maybe a few more short videos. Things always seem to go. Yeah, and now YouTube, you can do 3-minute shorts. It used to be 1 minute. Now you can do 3 minutes. So not bad. All right, so that's kind of my thoughts right now on where we are with the GM search. I do, as far as the date goes, I would expect something to be done by the end of next week, by the conference championship games. I think when the Jets do their second round of head coach interviews, you want your GM hired and you want him ready to go. And we'll talk about some of the news that came out today, some very interesting news with the head coach search. But remember, the candidate may feel a certain way, the owner may feel a certain way, but if the GM doesn't jive with the head coach, he's not going to hire him. So that is something we need to keep in mind. Now, as far as the coaching candidates go, well, first of all, Robert Saleh is about to interview with Dallas. Add that to the Raiders and the Jaguars. I really hope Robert Saleh gets a head coaching job because it's just one more candidate that the Jets are not going to hire who will get a job and that they don't have to worry about. I call me crazy, but I don't think Saleh's going to be back here next year. It's just a hunch. But I do find it pretty amazing that he is getting head coaching interviews. So, hey, good for him. The big news, of course, with Mike McCarthy getting fired, let go, whatever you want to say. And so now he is available on the market. Now, the two teams really interested in McCarthy are Chicago and New Orleans. The Jets don't seem to have any interest. Now, you got to remember, they researched McCarthy back around the time that they hired Adam Gase, the former Jets head coach who I am ashamed to share a first name with. But even then, there were some things they never really revealed it. But Connor Hughes has said there were things came up that just did not sit well with them, whether it was the way he handled personnel, different things like that. But they just did not have a good feeling about Mike McCarthy. So I don't expect him to be here. So, and the other thing is he had a lot of talent to work with. I kind of feel like he could have done more with what he had to work with. A lot of times that defense in Green Bay fell apart. How many times did Dallas fall apart early on? Late in the regular season or early in the playoffs? You cannot absolve the head coach of that. So it feels like you have a high, your floor is high with McCarthy. You'll get some wins, but the ceiling is very limited. And I'm not quite sure that's what I'm looking for right now. I don't want to accept mediocrity, even though that would be a goal right now. All right. Let's make a couple quick comments over here. So Wildway says just hire Spielman and Newmark. I didn't even know who Lance Newmark was until recently, but hey, if they want to go with Spielman, I'm fine with that. Jersey Jet, who joined us for the first time last week, is back. How you doing, man? Hope you've had a great week, and I'm glad that you are back. Danger's on board with Spielman as well. Rick Spielman interviewing Chris Spielman. I wonder what the spiel is going to be, but we'll see what winds up happening there. But, when you have a brother interviewing a brother, I mean, come on. My personal hope is Spielman's not in on that one. I hope Tannenbaum does that one alone. That's kind of what I'm feeling there. Billy SBC, what you said about McCarthy is also true of Mike Tomlin. High floor, low ceiling. Well, Mike Tomlin's won one Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, it's not radically different. I do think that Dallas, maybe he got a little more out of the talent Tomlin did. And when you have that many winning seasons in a row and you never let a season completely fall apart, that is still pretty good. I don't think Tomlin's going anywhere. Or I'd certainly be very, very interested in him, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see that happening. And put it this way, if he did cut loose, why would he go to the Jets? Most of the people that you hear of the 7 jobs that were open, New England included, the Jets are either 6th or 7th in terms of desirability because a lot of these other teams have their quarterbacks. So that is something to factor in. You have to deal with, some cap issues with Aaron Rodgers. What are you going to do there? Woody Johnson, to say the least, does not have a good reputation. So it's pretty much them and the Raiders for the bottom of the barrel. So what Wild Wave is proposing is that Chris Spielman would be our president. If they hire like a vice president of football operations, I could definitely see that happening. There's really been no indication that they're planning to do that. But if they like Spielman enough and another general manager candidate, and they could figure out how it would work, then that's fine. Because you know what? Maybe that cuts down Woody's authority a little bit. The Newmark GM with Glenn as head coach. All right. I mean, Newmark is one of those people I don't really have a feel for. I might even know his name till like 3-4 days ago. So I can't exactly say that I'm overwhelmed by it. But if that's the direction they choose to go, fine. It's going to take a while for me to have an opinion on a general manager. I'm not going to form it based off, an introductory press conference or not even one off season. This whole thing is a process. We got to remember that. And Billy says that they're going to hire Aaron Glenn. Well, we're going to talk about Aaron Glenn in just a couple of moments with some of the news. But with some of the interview updates, the Jets interviewed Jeff Ulbrich on Monday. I did not include him here because I don't even want to think about the idea. Arthur Smith will be getting interviewed on Thursday. And I got to tell you what, I like Arthur Smith very much as an offensive coordinator, but he's pretty much the king of 7 and 10s. That's pretty much all he seemed to have in Atlanta. And from what I heard, I think I think it was either Tiki Barber or Phil Simms who said, even in the production meetings, he didn't have the best feeling about him. Just in terms of how he conducted himself. Like they didn't go into depth, but you could tell it's like, this guy doesn't seem too qualified to be a head coach. So, Arthur Smith did a very good job, I think, in Tennessee, did okay in Pittsburgh at best. But as far as the head coach goes, no, I'm not interested in Arthur Smith. Certainly not on the level that I was a couple of years ago when he had come away from Tennessee. Scott Foster, how you doing? Yeah, there you go. Hit that bicep pose. There you go, brother. Wild Wave, I'm surprised John Spytek didn't get an interview and Greenberg did. I got to tell you, I feel good about Greenberg. I do. As I read more of his credentials, I do have a good feeling about him. But let's be honest, a lot of these guys, most of us don't really know the names, or we didn't until recently, So it's a bit of a toss-up. So as far as the Jets coaching candidates, so I divided this into 2 columns, who they've interviewed and who they've requested. Now they've done 7 interviews: Aaron Glenn, Vance Joseph, Mike Loxley, Matt Nagy, Ron Rivera, Darren Reese, and Steve Spagnuolo. And they've requested Joe Brady, Brian Flores, Brian Greasy, Josh McCown, Bobby Slowick, Arthur Smith, and Joe Witt Jr. It's one of those things where if the Jets interview like 6 candidates, they get killed for it. If they interview like 15 candidates, they get killed for that, because people will just naturally assume whatever the Jets do is wrong. And it really, really is annoying. But if they hire the right guy, the process won't matter. All that matters is the results. But no Todd Monken in this list, which I just don't understand. I just don't get why they wouldn't do that. Let's see here. Danger breaking a little bit of news. Just reported that Flores will be Friday. Hence, let me double check. That. Not that I don't believe you. I just hadn't seen that one come through yet. Oh, yeah. Jeff Ulbrich is interviewing for the Falcons defensive coordinator position. Oh, Jason Brownlee has signed with the Chiefs practice squad. Well, I don't have I may not have a graphic ready for it, but Jason Brownlee, now that you're with Kansas City,
He gone!
all the best going forward. Hey, Dave, where did you get through that report that Flores is going to be interviewing Friday? I have not seen that. Not that I don't believe you, I just haven't seen it yet. I feel like I've been kind of on this today. All right. Billy does not like the tension Flores brings. You know what? People can change a little bit. Look at Bill Parcells after his first year. You know, when he tried too much to be buddy-buddy and he realized he better do his job right the second year or he was going to be history. So I do believe a leopard can change his spots to a certain extent. And this team, let's be honest, this team needs a good kick in the butt. They need it. Not every team does, but this one needs it. When you have a team that takes this many penalties, is this unprepared? You know what? I want the coach to put a stick up these players' ass. I really do. Jordan Schultz is reporting that. Jordan Schultz. The Schultz report? I guess that's the guy, Fox NFL Insider. Dallas has spoken. Deion Sanders. Okay, so yep, Vikings. Brian Flores will interview with the Jets and Jaguars on Friday, and then the Bears on Saturday. Well, you knew that had. All right, thanks very much. You had to know that was coming up pretty soon. With Minnesota out, he can now interview in person, so that might be one benefit to Minnesota being eliminated on Monday. Again, you know what? These are things that would have to be addressed, but I'll take it over some of these other people who just put it this way. I don't want a candidate who says that Hassan Reddick is the most unselfish player on the freaking team. Yeah, I got sauces too. Barbecue, marinara, all kinds of sauces. Hot sauce. When it's brand new, it's hot sauce. Tannenbaum gets a free meal with every interview. Well, Sharon, it's the process. Good to see you, Sharon McLean. Glad that you are here. Yeah, and no Pete Carroll. I just don't think Pete Carroll's nobody's interviewing him at this point. So I just don't think Pete Carroll is really an option at this point. But as far as my preferences go, I'm giving my top 5 head coach preferences, my double revised version, with Vrabel off the market, with McCarthy not likely to come either. Todd Monken, I don't think is an option at this point. So these are pretty much the 5 that I'm looking at. Number 5, Matt Nagy. Again, I want to make a clear difference. I'm not saying I'd be thrilled with all of these guys, but again, Nagy was coach of the year with Chicago. He got a 12-win season out of Mitch Trubisky. That does mean something. They never did recover from the double doink in the playoffs off Cody Parkey's foot. But I think he is a Kansas City. Put it this way: if you like Mike Borgonzi as GM, why would you not like Matt Nagy as a potential head coach? They both come from Kansas City. So, just a thought. Josh McCown has started to rise up the ranks for me a little bit. I am into the idea. I'm not confident with it because the whole first-time coordinator thing doesn't sit too great with me, and he doesn't have the level of experience that some of these other guys have. I think Josh McCown would be better with Jacksonville or a team like that. Joe Brady, I'm still very high on the idea. You could tell me that he worked with Joe Burrow. You could tell me he worked with Josh Allen, but Josh Allen was never as good as he was until Joe Brady took over the offense last year. And Aaron Glenn and Brian Flores, it's pretty much 1A and 1B for me at this point. I think if you talk to most Jets fans, those are their top 2. And, ever since Vrabel was off the market, that's definitely where I stood with my top 2. So for me, it's like 1 and 2, a gap to 3, and then a big gap to 4 and 5. That's about where I am. It's like Flores and Glenn are an A, Brady is a B, McCown and Nagy be about a C. And then everybody else for me is several levels below that. I mean, come on. Mike Locksley, a guy who's 32 and 36 in college. I'm supposed to be excited about that. Vance Joseph, I know the Denver defense has done really well, but oh my gosh, he was a horrific head coach in Denver. But the big news that came out, I think I'm going to the white. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. So Aaron Glenn apparently has told people, and Brian Costello reported this, and it started to really spread this afternoon. If he was to be offered a head coaching position, the Jets are his first choice. And one of the things that Aaron Glenn said today in his press conference, and this got me pretty excited. He said, I'm a coach. I just happen to be on the defense. I know the offense just as well as anybody. So for people who are concerned about a defensive coordinator not being involved in the offense, it's like we need an offensive coach. No, if you have a coach who has a defensive background, but is still invested on both sides of the ball, what difference does it really make? Look at all the previous leaders, some of the best head coaches in the league right now. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach. I'd say that worked out pretty well. Mike Tomlin, same thing, right? Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, failed as a head coach one time in Atlanta, got to a Super Bowl, but it didn't work out, was let go in Dallas, and now look what he's doing with Washington. DeMeco Ryans in Houston, another perfect example. A defensive coach, originally, defensive player in the NFL, and a very good one. And look what he's doing with Houston as they get into the second round of the playoffs again. So the whole point of that is just because you have a coach with a defensive background doesn't mean the offense is going to struggle. Now, you do need to know what they're going to do as far as an offensive coordinator goes. Okay? The Jets apparently want Flores or Glenn the most, but I think a lot of it is going to have to do with what is the plan for offensive coordinator. It's going to be a big, big deal. Harlan with a good point. Marv Levy, you want to go into the old days. He was a special teams coach. Yeah, I wanted to focus a little bit more on today's NFL just because it seems to be more of an offensive-minded league, though. Harlan, don't want to see Flores as the head coach. Nagy has a decent record as head coach. Yeah, he does. He does. So, yeah, I do think Nagy does deserve another chance to coach in the NFL. And again, when you've had several years after you got fired to figure out what you did wrong, that's encouraging for me. Sharon, Glenn head coach, McCown offensive coordinator. If they can make that happen, I would sign up in a heartbeat. I would be overjoyed. I would be one happy Watsu K99. So, yeah, right now McCown is the quarterback's coach in Minnesota. So if he would take that promotion, wow, that'd be pretty fantastic. Or maybe Flores knows McCown since they're both in Minnesota. So if it is that sit package deal where you have to take Grigson in order to get Flores and McCown, then you know what? Not that I want Ryan Grigson. He's done a lot wrong, but if that's what it takes to get Flores and McCown, I might be game for it. I might just be in on it. All right, let's talk for a few minutes about what we learned from the playoffs this year. There's a couple, and especially in that first wild card round. Was that one of the ugliest weekends of football that you've ever watched in your life? Oh my gosh, you had one good game and a lot of the other ones were just whatevers. But one thing we learned, messy teams make the playoffs. When 7 out of 16 teams make it, you know what? You don't need to be a great, everything functioning perfectly team to be in the top 7 in your conference. But you need a couple things. You need intelligent coaching, which we know the Jets haven't had in quite some time. Of course, you need a capable quarterback. You better be able to block for him, as Sam Darnold found out. Scott is out of Grigson as part of the deal, but Harlan says, I heard Grigson is out as general manager. Oh, Costello's saying it. We got another head coaching candidate. Oh, baby. The Jets have requested to interview Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley for their head coach job. The Jersey native has 4 years of head coaching experience at Boston College and led a top 5 unit this year. That one happens at the end of the week. Jeff Hafley. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Jeff Hafley. Oh boy. I guess it's one of those things. I don't want to assume a coach is horrible, so I don't want to assume that they're bad. But it's like, why would they be qualified for this one? Oh my gosh, yeah, Jeff Hafley. I can't remember these freaking names anymore. Yeah, Jeff Hafley, Mike Loxley, Vance Joseph, Jeff Hafley. Sweet Jesus. Yeah, the Costco kids and the girl from Dunkin'. Maybe they'll interview Flo from Progressive. I don't know. Maybe she'll be next. Maybe we got the lizard from Geico in this mofo. I don't know. At least the press conferences will be fun. Well, I thought we had a fantastic draft. Yeah, we ran right up to the podium, and then we're going to drop this fella, this bloke. He's doing just fine. He has 12 past breakups. All 12 past breakups. I think I went into an Irish accent just now. Holy shit. Yeah, 12 past breakups playing for South Dakota State. It'd just be awesome. Yeah, Geico Gecko is great. He'd fit right in here. Right in. Yeah, imagine that giveaway. We'll be giving Geico Gecko bobbleheads. Jeff Halfley. Wow. Yeah, but I haven't heard anything about any of the GM candidates being in, being out. Nobody as far as going to a second interview as of yet. So hopefully that'll be happening. Here's the thing, though. If we're doing all these head coach interviews over the rest of this weekend, I don't think we're going to start general manager second rounds until early next week at the earliest. So, guys, realistically, don't expect an announcement for, I'd say, at least a week and a half now. How do we not interview Dion? It's Deion Sanders. I mean, come on. You thought it was a circus before. Deion's going to want to go where his kid is or where he has a history. Deion can be very, very – he can be as selective as he wants because he's got a cushy gig in Colorado. I think you're probably kidding. Yeah. How we not interview Deion, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't see that one happening. It'll be nice but again, we get the right hire. It'll be okay. But as bad as Sam played, again, give credit to the Rams defensive line. I've been saying on the confidence picks for weeks. The Rams have a young, hungry, aggressive defensive line. Verse, Fisk, Turner. These guys got after Darnold, and the Vikings, especially that Christian Darrisaw, couldn't stop him. They couldn't. And when you're a complete pocket passer like Darnold is, that spells doom. He got the happy feet again. So, Harlan, why not get the GM and the GM hires the HC? That's exactly what I expect to have happen. That's what I expect. It'll be the GM's job ultimately. The whole idea is Tannenbaum and Spielman make their recommendations to Woody, but it's going to be Woody's call on who is the GM, which makes sense. I have no problem with that. But ultimately, of course, it should be the GM's call who's going to be the head coach. Like, you can't force Aaron Glenn on, Mike Bergonzi, okay? And if I'm Bergonzi and I want to take my first general manager job, why am I taking a job where the head coach has already decided for me? Why would I do that? I would just stay in KC. Or I take the Tennessee job. So I really expect it to be GM first, then head coach. I would not lose any sleep over that one, bro. Would not do that. And as far as defense goes, you don't need a perfect defense, but you do need a couple of playmakers, guys who make plays in the big moments. I still think the Jets have more than enough playmakers on defense between Will, Quinnen, JJ when he comes back, Quinnen, Jamie if they keep him, Sauce. I think MC2 is still a top slot cornerback in the league when healthy. All right. That does not stress me out. But we saw the difference, how far off they fell this year. And I still think a lot of that, two reasons. One was the injuries, and another was the coaching. Jeff Ulbrich could not devote the time that he needed to for this defense to be as good as it could possibly be. And I think that's why you hear a lot of certain Jet fans, who I won't mention by name, but say, this guy's overrated, this guy's overrated, this guy's over. When that many guys underperform at the same time, it is a collective problem. It is a system problem. Yes, Scott Foster, I think Sauce is a playmaker. I'm not looking at interceptions, but I am looking at coverage, and he can cover. There's no denying that he can cover. But one of the biggest questions that they're going to have is who's going to be playing cornerback opposite him next season. So that guy's going to get a lot of attention. I don't expect it to be DJ Reed. I think most of us don't. So do they sign somebody? Do they draft somebody? Do you draft a Will Johnson out of Michigan and plug him right in there? Do you trust Brandon Eccles at 180 pounds? Do you sign him and then promote him to quarterback 2? I don't know. That's going to be a big decision that I think not a lot of people are going to be thinking about early on. The great Nick Shine. He ain't so proud, but he is still Nick Shine. Whoever has said the word football can get an interview with this team. I think I've almost drugged Nick down to my level of negativity with this team. God bless Nick. This season, I think, finally broke him, at least for now. At least for now. Couple weeks, couple months, he's gonna get the itch back. I know he's gonna get the itch back. I got faith in the positivity and the proudness of Nick Shine. I do. So, but and always remember this: turnarounds are very possible in the NFL. Who at the beginning of the year thought Washington was making the playoffs with Dan Quinn as their head coach and a rookie quarterback? Who saw that coming? And now here they go. They're on their way to play the number one team in the NFC after knocking off Tampa Bay. Look at the Chargers. They went from nowhere to 11 wins and making the playoffs. I know they burned out. I know they played like crap against Houston. Chargers are going to Charger. And they got they had the right head coach, but yeah, say what you want about Justin Herbert, but when your quarterback only throws 3 interceptions in the regular season, you know what? You could do it. And the Jets could do the same. The talent is there. You still have the foundation of a very good roster. I'm not backing off that the roster is still good. Going into last season, remember, ESPN had the Jets ranked the second best roster in the NFL, only behind the San Francisco 49ers. You can't tell me that all of a sudden this is like a team that's 20-25 on talent, because I don't believe that. You can't tell me the Jets are not a more talented team than, say, the Denver Broncos, who are in the playoffs, or even the Washington Commandskins. I'm broke from betting on the Jets. Well, I can come up with some ways for you to get your money right back involving the Jets. Danger zone. Would you rather there not be a 7 seed? I like this. I like it the way it is. I like the 1 through 7 works. I mean, we all grew up 1 through 6. At least most of us did. Some of us probably grew up with 1 through 5. My apologies. I could deal with 7. I just have a feeling that they're going to make it 8 as soon as they can. I don't want that to happen because I like that each wild card game is a standalone game. If you start to do 8 playoff games, then you're starting to overlap a little bit. And I think that is not good. I don't think half the league should make the playoffs. I think 7's fine. There should still be a bye. 1 bye or 2 byes is fine because football is a sport where you really do need the bye. So, yeah, more so than baseball. I think a bye in baseball can be counterproductive because it's more about feel. It's more about rhythm. But in football, sometimes you need that extra week. So, yeah, I'm good with 1 through 7. I wouldn't really change anything in the playoffs. I wouldn't change the structure. I wouldn't change the format. I wouldn't change home field advantage. I mean, well, the only thing I would change is get that freaking wild card game off Prime, get it off streaming, include a regular TV option. But that's another story. But hey, I paid my 99 cents. I got a free week of Prime, and I watched the game. So all good. Arlen, who thought Denver would make the playoffs with a rookie quarterback? I thought Denver would have a top 5 draft pick in the league, and I have no shame admitting it. Mahomes hasn't thrown a pass since Christmas. Will it show? It hasn't been a dominant season for the Kansas City offense, but I'll tell you what, he's got Hollywood Brown coming back. Now he can move Xavier Worthy into the slot. And even though Travis Kelce's definitely on the decline, I think he still has a way of raising his game when it really matters. So, yeah, I really think you're going to see a good amount of Pacheco, but yeah, you might see like a little bit of a rusty start early on. I could see a big bomb at some point to Hollywood Brown in that game. I really do. Nick, you would still have the same amount of games wild card weekend, just 2 teams from each conference get a bye. Well, if you expanded to 8 teams, if you were to expand it, if you expanded to 8 and 8, then all 4 teams are playing. So that would be 8 games in one weekend, right? So if we shrunk it down to 6, then yeah, then you'd have the byes. So be right. So wouldn't that be 8 games instead of 6 in the first round if we expanded it? At least that's my thought. It's been a long day, and it's like 28 degrees outside, so that cold is wearing on me a little bit. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do a quick check here. Let's do a quick likes check. Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. All right. Yeah, we're going to do the trivia in just a moment. And let's see how we're doing as far as the wheel goes. How are we doing on likes? And we're still a couple of likes short of spinning the wheel. So if you'd like to do the wheel tonight, you got to hit that thumbs up button. Got to spread the word. I'm happy to do the wheel, but I'll do it if you all want to do it. That's kind of how it's going to work. All right, guys. Well, it is time for one of the traditions that we have here on the New York Sports WickerMedia channel. Every week, you know what happens. I head down my stairway into the labyrinth of Jets knowledge, of Jets history. I bust open the books. I open up the Encyclopedia Britannica. I pull up the websites, and I watch you K99 challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal freaking football team in all of the NFL, that friggin' fan base, the New York Jets fan base. Just how much do you know about your New York Jets? So if you are ready, let's play Jets Trivia. All right, guys. So we are switching over to New York Jets playoff history. So the next couple of weeks, we'll talk about the Jets in the playoffs. I'm running out of questions. The pain is real. And dang, you guys came through. You absolutely came through. We have just hit the 15 likes, so we'll do a little wheel spinning a little bit later on after we do the trivia. So everybody, you all know the rules. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. We put the question on the screen, and you have 5 minutes to tell me your answer. Put that answer down there in the chat. Chat's been doing fantastic. Went 12-6 during the regular season. Got last week's question right as well. Sharon McClain was just kind of lurking in the background, and boom, she just came out of nowhere and popped that correct answer right there into the chat. I think this one, I got a good feeling that you all can guess this. So your question tonight goes like this. Which Jet, it's only one Jet, what New York Jet had multiple interceptions in Super Bowl III? You are on the clock. The Jets picked off the Baltimore Colts quarterbacks 4 times, but one Jet had multiple interceptions. Who was it? Jersey Jet is talking about playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
So do I. Yeah, we know we can in August, but remember, this is the New York Jets.
This is the New York Jets, where careers come to die and the worst memories of your life are born.
All right, so I see a couple of answers over here. Let's see. Was it Lee Crevette? Lee Crevette recovered 2 fumbles, actually. That footage has been lost to the archives, but Lee Crevette did have a couple of fumble recoveries. Really had a good game. Unfortunately, we blowballed him, and then he went on to the Boston Patriots for a couple of seasons before he called it a career and went back to a career in the coal mining industry. Both Scott Foster and Arlen Abraham and the great Jerome Strack say Johnny Sample. Is it Johnny Sample? I'm afraid not. Nope. Johnny Sample did have 1 interception, but it was only 1. And then we got the great Nick Shine here. He says, Randy Beverly. Is it Randy Beverly? It sure is. Randy Beverly picked off Earl Morrall twice in Super Bowl III. And, yeah, that Jet defense, everyone talks about Joe Namath. But, boy, that defense, they came to play, and they really shut down that Colts offense. Lou Michaels did miss a 27-yard field goal in that game. But, 1 touchdown drive against the team that was, an 18.5-point favorite going into it. Man, what a defense they had. What a defense it was. All right, Chet. So once again, that is another win. So all I can say to you guys is, all right, another victory for the Chad. Next week, I'm going to have to make it a little bit more challenging. Maybe I'll have to go back to the 80s or something, you know? Nick Shine should have been the MVP. My father swore by it and always spoke him. You know, most of the people say it was Matt Snell since he scored the only touchdown of the game, even though Joe Namath did win it. It's interesting that Namath won. He didn't throw a single pass in the fourth quarter. It was just run the clock. They couldn't stop the run, make them stop the run, and it worked. But you know what? Yeah, Beverly, you could definitely make an argument for that. The defense really doesn't get respect. It's true. Verlin Biggs, Jerry Philbin, Larry Grantham, Al Atkinson. I'm trying to remember the other end who played along with Philbin, but then Sample, Beverly, Jim Hudson. Yeah, it was a heck of a defense, no question about it. Okay, guys, well, I'll tell you what. We are going to spin the wheel tonight. So let's see. What are we going to do here? Thinking. I think we've done last week. I think we did the 100. I think I want to get a little bit. I want to get a little bit funky with. Let's do a little bit of a different wheel. I'm gonna make the call on this one, guys. Let's do Jets. Since we're looking for a coach, why don't we do Jets coaches? Let's do the Jets coach wheel. That's where we're gonna go tonight. All right. So, and to make it a little more fun, we'll do 2 wheels and we'll do top 5. All right. So present slides. All right, so I've got to present. I'm going to share my screen with everybody, spin the wheel, share, and max that out. And there we go. Okay, so here we have a list of, I think every Jets head coach. Yep, even including Jeff Ulbrich. We've included him on this one. Okay, so let's max that out. So all right, guys. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to spin the wheel. We're going to do it 5 times for this first round, and we'll see which round winds up being better. And then you let me know 1 through 5 where you would rank that particular Jet coach on our countdown 1 through 5. Yeah, danger zone. What was winner? The Jets winning higher, the Jets winning percentage or Jordan's batting average? I think each of our IQs is higher than the Jets winning percentage. Yeah, we got Lou Holtz in here. We got Charlie Winter in here. Bruce Cosler. I got everybody except for Sammy Baugh, since that was like the Titans. But pretty much everybody from Weeb Eubank forward is on this wheel. Okay, so we're going to do 2 rounds on this. So feel free to put your guesses who you were going to land on. And if we land on that particular coach, then you get to pick where we're going to put the coach on our list. So remember, 1 through 5. That's all we're doing, because if we did 1 through 10 on this, we'd have too many respins, and to be honest, it would be downright torture. Okay. All right, so chat, let's start putting your guesses down there in the chat. Another swig of water for the working man and woman. All right. Nick, you should do a wheel with all the people that we've requested to interview and spin it one time to see if you get it right. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah. That's what we should do. It would take me a minute, but I should create a GM wheel and a coach wheel. I could do it. It would take me a couple of minutes, but I could do it really quick. I could do it. The only thing is, you all see me make it, but you know what? If you guys want to give me like 3-4 minutes, I could create one. I could do that. Okay, so guys, let's see if the wheel truly knows all. That's exactly right. Yeah. I'll tell you what. We'll just do the 5 coaches right now, and it'd be a very viral moment, no question about it. Oh my God, yeah, we can do a GM wheel and a coach wheel. Although maybe I put a little weight on it so it lands on like Aaron Glenn and Mike Greenberg, something like that. Yep. Oh boy, that's okay, guys. So, any guesses for the wheel? Let's see. Make your picks. Charlie. Okay, I see Rex Ryan, Charlie Winter, Lou Holtz. Hey, David D. How you doing? Glad you're able to stop by tonight. Okay, I'm going to say we land on Bruce Coslin. All right, and let's spin that wheel. First time tonight in 3, 2. Jersey Jet, I got you. Al Groh. 1. Spin. And we land on, oh, Jesus, Lord help us. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, when you land on him, I mean, what can I say? But yeah, that pretty much says it all. Adam freaking Gase. Well, he did have one decent season. Adam Gase went 9-23 with the Jets in 32 games between 2019 and 2020. Amazingly, that first year, the Jets were actually 7-9. Yeah, the last Jets win I went to, Adam Gase actually coached it. It was the game in Washington against the Redskins. They were still the Redskins. Yep, Adam Gase. Is there anywhere he should be other than 5? Jersey Jet says 4. All right. In his honor, bring on Denmark Candy. I know what you're talking about. Those 3 games against the Raiders, Giants, and Redskins, 34 points will be the 3 most memorable games in my life. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's when Sam Darnold made what was his name, Dan Brown, look like an all-world tight end. It was actually pretty amazing, and that was the game Dwayne Haskins threw his first touchdown in. God rest his soul. All right, chat. I'll give you a few more seconds to put down your vote. Where do you want to put Adam Gase on the 1 to 5 scale here? All right. Yeah, so yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, we'll do 2 chat wheels, then I will make a GM wheel and I will make a coach wheel. So if everybody can give me like 3 minutes to make each wheel, we could do it tonight. Okay, yep, Adam Gase 5. I wholeheartedly agree. It is pretty tough to beat him on the negative end of it. It really is. I mean, I can mention Mike Holovac, who was an interim coach after Lou Holtz for 1 game, who went 0-1, but that wouldn't be fair. I mean, Rich Kotite was a little bit worse. You know, Ulbrich was a little bit worse, but he was an interim, so I give him a little more grace, but not much. Okay, let's go on to spin number 2. I'm going to say we land on Walt Michaels. I think we're going to have a pretty good spin here. Let's go to the other end. I think we got a pretty good spin here. I'm going to say Walt Michaels. Okay, David D says Rex. Harlan says Joe Walton. Scott says Weeb Eubank. Sharon, Harlan already got Joe Walton. So Sharon, I'm going to ask you to change your pick if you would be so inclined. Kotite is 5 all day. Well, yeah, if we land on him, then I absolutely agree with you. If we land on him, yeah. My philosophy is this. I'm not a genius. I don't have all the answers. That was in his freaking introductory press conference. So there actually has been a worse intro press conference in history than Adam Gase's. Al Groh. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, spin. And it comes to a stop on, oh dear God, Lou Holtz. Woo! We are starting bad. Lou Holtz, great college coach, great analyst, but 3-10 in the 13 games he played. He tried to teach the Jets a fight song. Like grown men are going to sing a song before every game. Yeah. Oh boy, not unless it's a celebration song. That's a little bit different. You know, you got the Mets doing "Oh my God," but no, you can't have like a fight song like you're at a pep rally every game. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, Lou Holtz. I don't know. He has a slightly worse winning percentage than Gase does, but again, Gase was a second-time coach. Holtz, this was the only NFL stop he ever had. Harlan goes 4. I agree. Yeah, Dame, we're only doing 1 through 5, and Gase has 5. So the lowest we can go is 4. Yeah, I don't think we can go anywhere but a 4 for Lou Holtz. I agree with the chat. Yeah. Okay. Boy, oh boy, this is not the most inspiring wheel we've ever had so far, is it now? Yep, 4. All right, we got it. All right, let's go to spin number 3. Well, maybe if I go on the negative end, it'll actually help matters. So let's just land on Jeff Ulbrich. Why not? Yeah, Jeff Ulbrich, him of a 250 winning percentage. Amazing. Yeah, 3-9. It's amazing he actually won 3 games, isn't it? But that did happen. So I'm going to go with Ulbrich. Danger zone. Aaron Glenn, sight unseen, is trending towards a blind number 1 right now. I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful. All right, guys. Let's see. Just give you another few seconds to get your guesses in for pick number 3. Sharon goes with Weeb Eubank. Okay. Yeah, we got to get a good coach at some point here, don't we? I mean, I'll sell for a mediocre coach. I'll take Bruce Coslett. Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Arlen says Al Groh. Okay. And we land on Herman Edwards. Well, we landed on Herman, so you know what that means.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Hello. All right. Well, when you look at Herman Edwards, maybe not the best in-game coach we ever had. I still hate that he got so conservative in Pittsburgh that one time. But in 80 games, went 39-41 with the Jets. Coached them in 5 playoff games where they went 2-3. Had a lot of talent to work with. Herman was kind of the beneficiary of the end of the Parcells era. Is really what that was. So we got spot 1, 2, or 3 for Herman. So where are we going to put Herman Edwards? Yeti, how you doing, man? Harlan wants to keep him kind of low at 3. Thinks we're going to get 2 coaches better than Herman. Okay. Let's see. How many coaches? Yeah, he actually had 39 wins, same as Walt Michaels. How many coaches had more than him? Weeb, Joe Walton, even though he won that good. Rex, and that's it. So yeah, Herman's kind of up there with all-time wins, and I think 5 playoff games is the second most behind Rex. Yeah, so second most games coached. I don't know. Sharon going with a 2. Jersey Jet is kind of on that 2 to 3 bridge. Okay. I'm kind of thinking a 2 myself. I think we're going to get somebody worse than him. I really do. Had his good years, had his bad years. Just, it's the case with a lot of the Jets coaches. Good years, bad years, and at the end, it just ends badly, and the record looks a little bit worse than what it actually was. Danger Zone goes 2. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Looks like the 2s are just edging it out. All right, I'm going to give Herman Edwards the 2 spot. All right, so with our coaches, we've got number 1 and 3 still to fill in. We've got Herman Edwards at 2, Lou Holtz at 4, and Adam Gase at 5. All right, so let's go on to spin number 4. I got to tell you, I'm actually pretty excited to do the coach and the GM wheel. So after this, I think we're just going to go right to the coach and GM wheel. So yeah, I got to make that up, and you'll actually see me make a wheel from scratch, which again takes a minute, but yeah, just a couple of minutes, and then we can do that. Yeah. So credit to Nick for a great idea. All right, I think for spin number 4, we're going to land on Robert Saleh. No one's mentioned his name yet, and it kind of seems fitting. Yeah, the possible future coach of the Jaguars, or possible future coach of the Raiders, possible future coach of the Cowboys. Could happen. Danger Zone goes with Ulbrich. Harlan goes with Bill Parcells. Okay. Scott Harlan just got ahead of you with the Parcells. So Scott, if you'd like to change it, by all means, please do so. All right. Let's take the wheel for a spin. Joe Walton. Okay, got it. Spin number 4 in 3, 2, 1. And we come to a stop on, Lou Holtz again. So that means it's going to be a respin. 3, 2, 1. And now we come to a stop on, I think I got it. Oh, close. I thought that was solid. That is right on the edge, but it is Walt Michaels. All right, so Michaels, is he ahead or behind Herman? So Walt Michaels, very unceremoniously fired after the 1982 season. Took us to 4 playoff games, went 2-2. Overall record of 39, 47, and 1. But in 1978, was named NFL Coach of the Year by UPI and Pro Football Weekly. No other Jet coach has ever won a Coach of the Year award by any outlet, by any organization. There is something to be said for that. Yeah, and I think Walt just passed away in the last 2 years or so, a couple years. Yeah, passed away in 2019, made it to 89 years old. So he had a very good run. And with the Jets, they started off horribly 3-11, then 8-8, 8-8, 4-12, then 10-5-1, and then 6-3 in the strike-shortened year. So definitely got better as time went on. All right, I see a couple of ones. They're a little bit ahead of the threes right now. Yeah, I think right now I got to put him a little bit ahead of Herman is kind of what I'm thinking. Tough call. You can make the call either way, but yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead. So it is interesting. So wait, in 1978, I got to look this up again. He was named Coach of the Year in 1978 when they went 8-8 and finished third in the AFC East. How is that possible? All right. Well, Walt Michaels. Walt Michaels gets number 1. I'm okay with the list. I think I'd probably put Gase ahead of Holtz, but all right, one more spin. This is spin number 3. So to recap again real quick, we got Walt Michaels at 1, Herman Edwards at 2, Lou Holtz at 4, and Adam Gase at 5. So one more spin. This is spin number 5 to fill in spot number 3. In 3, 2, 1, spin. Or are we going to land on a race last spin? And we land on the candidate that we thought was going to be here for a little bit, and a lot of people wanted to interview, but it has not worked out. It is Pete Carroll, who coached us to a 6-10 record in 1994. One of the biggest collapses that this team, which is, let's be honest, this franchise is riddled with late season collapses. 1994 was right up there with any of them. And it's unfortunate that he got fired, and I can't blame him for never wanting to come back to the Jets if that is the reality of the situation. So, guys, I'll tell you what. I think that as far as this wheel goes, Michaels, Edwards, Carroll, Holtz, and Gates, it's a little bit debatable, but you know what? I feel pretty good about it, so I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to call that a winning wheel. All right. Okay, guys, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to go into the wheel app. All right. Now, I got to create this from scratch. Yeah. All right. So I got to basically do a brand new one. Okay. I know this won't be the most entertaining part of the show, but this is what we got to do. It'd be nice if I could get. There it is. No, I don't want to. I don't want to delete anything. I want to get rid of this thing. All right. All right, style. Okay, there we go. All right, so style. So delete that, delete that. Okay, so for Gotham Green, yes, I'm making it the same color. 1887-64, and we fill it in with white. Then to alternate it, go there, and then the text 1887-64. So that's Gotham Green. Close that. All right, and now we can Separate text from color. And now we'll start to fill in the coaches. Okay. So now I've got to go back here. Actually, this just faded out. Yeah, doesn't take too long. It's just not the most exciting process. All right, I'll start typing some of the names in, guys. If I'm forgetting anybody, then feel free to let me know, and I will include everybody. This thing's all over the place. Oh shoot! There we go. All right, I have it back. Okay, present, share screen. Yeah. All right, we got it. Yep, we got it. Just got to plug the names in. Okay. So who we got here? We got Joe Brady. We've got Brian Flores. Aaron Glenn. Actually, let's just delete all of these out. Yeah, I wish this could be the wheel. Okay, I think they were talking to Brian Greasy, so what the hell, we'll put him on there. Vance Joseph, Josh McCown, Matt Nagy, Ron Rivera, Darren Reezy with 2 Z's. There we go. Bobby Slowick, Arthur Smith, Steve Spagnuolo, Joe Witt Jr., Jeff, yeah, who the hell was this guy? Who is this guy? Again, Jeff Halsley, or did I say that name correctly? Oh, man. All right, Mike Loxley. I know I got to add him as well. Yeah, Jeff Halfley. Okay, Jeff Halfley. Yeah, you know that's who we're landing on, right? Okay, Mike Loxley. And is there anybody else? I think that's about everybody, guys. Is there anybody else that I'm missing on the coach wheel? Yeah, I don't feel like I could put in McCarthy or Carroll or anybody like that. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury doesn't seem to be getting looked at. I don't know if there's I'll just say other. I'll just put it in an other spot, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So that's our coach search. That's pretty much what we're looking at. If I forgot anybody, then throw it down there in the chat. But I think that's about everybody they've requested as of now. Let's shuffle them a little bit. 4, 5, 6. See, that's how I can move them all around. All right, chat. Anybody else that we didn't mention? Yeah, we could do this for the GM too if you want. But yeah, the coach. Let's be honest. The coach is going to be the most drama. So, all right. So, guys, I think we're just going to do one spin. All right, wherever it lands, it lands. No stipulations. No frills. It's just going to be one spin. So let's max the wheel. There we go. I feel like we need a drum roll on this, right? So, yeah. All right, so here we go. So, my fellow Jets fans, here's the stakes. The Jets have conducted a long, hard search for their new head coach. The new head coach who is going to lead them to the promised land. And we've got those names right here on this wheel. And whoever we spin and land on, that's the man that is going to bring the New York Jets their first Super Bowl since January 12th, 1969. I believe it. You believe it. We all believe it. We can feel it. So without any further ado, let's meet the new head coach of the New York Jets. And we're going to spin right now. And we land on, oh dear God, the newest candidate, Jeff Hafley from Boston College. Come on down. Two out of, well, it's the first. I'm sorry, did I say that right? I think what I said was it's the first to get 2 spins, right? Oh man, it was either Jeff Haffey or Joe Witt Jr. Oh my gosh, how depressing is this? I was going to do a GM wheel, but I'm afraid to start. Oh, maybe we'll maybe we'll do that for next week. We'll see how, we could do it. We'll still do it. You guys are hanging here with me, so you know what the hell. I hope the 33rd team is better than this. You know what? There are like homeless people in Ethiopia who could do better than this. Got to pair him with a GM. Come on. All right. You know what? This was just the practice round. Because before we hire the coach, we got to have a GM, right? Yes. All right. So I declare we are going to redo this. Edit the wheel again. All right. So let's do this one more time. Delete. Like Matt Hardy. All right. So Jets GM search. Close. Style editor. 1887-64. Yeah, that's good enough. Style white. There we go. Make that white. 1887-64. There we go. That's good. Okay, Jets GM search. So let's, This is a little bit of a weird website. Okay, so we look at the GM search. All right, who is out there that we have interviewed? Well, we've interviewed, I think, 15 people, right? Okay, so we got Mike Borgonzi. You know what? I'm going to add, to make it 16, I'm going to add Phil Savage just because he's the interim. I'm going to include him as well. So Mike Borgonzi, Phil Savage, Trey Brown, Thomas Dimitrov, Ray Farmer, Brian Gain. Can I put Team 33 on the GM wheel? Mike Greenberg, Brian Grigson, Alec Hallaby, Darren Bougie Mougie, Jim Nagy, Lance Newmark, Louis Riddick, John Robinson, almost there, Chris Spielman, and John Eric Sullivan. There we go. Okay, so let's shuffle them a couple of times. I'll make the text a little bit bigger. There we go. That looks good. All right. And so now we're doing the real exercise here. Yeah, put green bean there, right? Okay, so the Jets have conducted their interviews with all of their general manager candidates, hoping to find the successor to Joe Douglas, hoping to find the best general manager they've ever had in the history of this franchise, the best one ever. Who is that general manager going to be that brings the Jets back to glory? Who is going to make those key moves? Who is going to demand accountability and be the trusted leader that we need going forward? So, general manager, we welcome your arrival. And that general manager's name is straight out of the Senior Bowl. It's Jim Nagy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's about as plain as it could possibly be. Okay. So there's the GM search. So our GM is Jim Nagy. Now, for real though, we're going to pick our coach. Jim Nagy is going to pick that great coach, the next leader, the next superstar, the next man who will not be afraid of the New York Jets challenge, the man who will not use freaking crow analogies on Hard Knocks, somebody who actually shows some emotion on the sideline, speak with some verve in the press conferences, play the best players, hold the players who are struggling accountable, and demand excellence for a franchise that deserves nothing short of excellence. So to our new head coach, come on down. Your name is... Our new head coach is Ron Rivera. So we get a Jim Nagy and Ron Rivera combination. Is anybody exactly going streaking after this tonight? I didn't think so. Oh boy. I tried it. It's an upgrade over Jim Halfley or Jim Housley or Jim Mosley, whatever the hell his name was. But yeah, Jim Nagy and Ron Rivera. I hope Tannenbaum and Spielman do better than the wheel did. Okay, guys, I am going to call it a night, but I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay warm out there wherever you are. We are halfway through the month of January already, and it won't be long till we know who our new GM is. A little bit after that, who our head coaches. And but no matter what, I'm sure we will all handle it with restraint and confidence and calmness, because that's just how Jets fans are. All right, have a great night, everybody, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where, the Wicker Chair.